Hi. So this time I want to talk about a role-playing game. I have been asked after my review of Hot Chicks why I haven't done anymore. So I thought I'll do a review on a role-playing game book this time. Now, why would I place a review of a role-playing game on this channel, which is mostly reviews about occult books? Well, science fiction, fantasy, and horror is also a great passion of mine, and I don't really make that many videos, so it doesn't make sense to have more than one channel. So if you're more interested in the occult, then just skip this video. But if you like me, like supernatural both in fact and in fiction, then you might like it. Alright, so the game I want to talk about today is Cybergeneration. Now, Cybergeneration is a spin-off game from the much more known and popular Cyberpunk 2020. So, excuse me. This game is set some years after Cyberpunk. Most of the various cyberpunks and street brawlers and what have you that run around in Cyberpunk with their pink hair and mohawks have met people, married, settled down, and, for lack of a better word, sold out. Now, in this game, you play the children, and there's a little twist. There have been a massive cybernetic plague, a cyber plague, which has wiped out a pretty big portion of the population. And in its wake, there are children with special abilities. And like you have children who can manipulate metal, who can um, enter the web with their minds, and so on and so on. It's a little bit like Cyberpunk meets X-Men. Now, the problem is that the kids that have these abilities, they are affected by the plague, and a lot of them will die when they reach a certain age, not all of them though. And since they're associated with this illness, everybody is afraid of them, and if discovered, the government, or rather the incorporated states of America, the corporations, will hunt them down and either kill them, send them to camps, force them to work for them, or just dissect them. So the children are in a bit of a problem. Something that's very interesting in this book is that, as you might have suspected, you play kids. I think the youngest character you can make are 8, and the oldest are somewhere in their teens. So you get to dig deep down into how it was like to be a kid, and how would it be like to be a kid if people were really after you, people wanted to hunt you down and use you in a science experiment, and how would it be like to be a kid with um, superpower. Now the superpowers in here are pretty interesting because they sort of have a natural explanation in that they're associated with cyber plague. They are sort of technologically explainable, but are still superpowers. Now the world is massively polluted and so on and so forth, so most people live in these huge building cities where a whole city is a building. Think the scenes from Zion in the Matrix trilogy. So the kids form gangs, they run around, they fight in the tunnels, and yeah, the game is a lot of fun. Let me read what the back of the book says. My parents became cyberpunks, and all they left me was this dark future. 2027. The Incorporated States of America has ruled the land of the fast gun techno hero with a cybered fist, and a terrifying new plague sweeps the wasteland that street-laid America has inherited from edge runners of 2020. Now with amazing powers beyond mere cybertech, abilities that defy known science, a handful of angry Juve-gangers, I don't think that's a word, have evolved to become the Cybergeneration, a generation born to the street, raised on danger and deception, leading the battle to win back their world. The ESA is closing in, hunting them down to eliminate or control them, but these kids know the war's just beginning. A new cyberpunk game world with 17 new Yo-Gang characters roles, including Go-Gangers, Mega Violence, Street Fighters, Eco Riders, new nanotech abilities and powers, new weapons, netware and street tech, new adversaries, allies for corporate controlled America, more role-playing action. Now, this book do require Cyberpunk 2020 to play, and you can also use information from this book in your regular Cyberpunk game. Among other things, you have some interesting, if you're gonna call it, character types. The Go Gangs. These are like, let me see if I can find them in here, because there are some pictures of them that are excellent. Like here you have a crew. I don't know if it picks up well on the camera. The Go Gangs are like youth gangs, and you have like Mega Violence who are run around and, well, beat people up. You have see, page 7. They have some interesting names too. So let's just find them. Yes. Go Gangs, they will usually then wear similar clothing. They are youth gangs, basically. So, yes, you have, for example, Golden Kids. These are your rich kids. They have their father's credit card. They have the newest toys, the newest games, bodyguards. You have Goths, of course. You have Guardians, who are like kid soldiers. I could go on and on, because mall brats, well, you can mention that, annoying little kids that run around shopping centers constantly. There are a lot of them. So yeah, there's a lot of information in here, and it's a very fun game. So yeah, I really recommend it if you can find it. It's been out of print for years. So yeah, it's a fresh take on cyberpunk in that it sort of also explains what happens to all cyberpunks when they grow up. It's not that easy to be a gunslinging, mohawk spouting badass on the street when you have a wife and a child. So, and also for a lot of these people, it's a sort of a sad thing too, because the one thing that defines the characters in Cyberpunk is passion. These are people are passionate for their freedom, for whatever goal. They break through social and law um, restrictions to achieve that goal because they have that burning passion. But as life slowly grinds them down, some of that passion dies and they replace that drive, that passion that made them go all out against a corporation, knowing that they would most likely die, but at least they could go out in a place of glory. They replace that with a sensible home, a wife, and changing diapers. Now in this game you sort of play the next generation, those that are raised on their family's old stories. You can imagine these kids sitting on the knee of an old cyberpunker being told about when they broke into such and such mega corporation. So they are raised on that, and they have passion in excess, but at the same time they are children, there's a limit to what they can do. It creates a very fresh and interesting take on cyberpunk. So yeah, you have interesting new powers, interesting new cybertech, the Go gangs, and that sound was my cat running in after she had been in a fight with another of the neighboring cats. Anyway, where were I? Yes, interesting new technologies, and of course a great take on how to play kids in role-playing games. So I highly recommend this game. I give this book 8 out of 10. And that is Cybergeneration, the final battle for the cyberpunk future by R. Talsorian Games. If you like dark future, post-apocalyptic settings, cyberpunk, the type of mutant superpower type games, or are interested in playing kids, then this game is for you. Have a great day.